What happened here?
What could have done this?
Unbelievable. You've been rescuing them.
Something is coming. Something you've never faced before.
The dragons are mine now. Protect our people. It's your destiny.
If the film was always going to be a second in the trilogy, how much detail had you worked out when you were working on the first film?
We didn't have time to explain everything in the first movie, and so there were certain story ideas like what happened to Hiccup's mother that were left unanswered. And because of that, it gave us material to sort of branch out and expand and maybe get into those stories and have that character come back in a really interesting way. Were you frustrated by it ending where it did?
Definitely.
Especially because some of the best stuff is coming soon.
You've really captured the dragon's emotions. They can't speak, so how did you get them to communicate so well?
Well, one of the best things about animation is you can have complete scenes where you can communicate with just looks and pantomime. And we decided long ago that unlike the books, these dragons would not speak. And so we would have to do all the communication like you would with a dog or a cat or a horse. But we go even further to suggest that the dragons maybe are even more intelligent than that they have opinions, that they have senses of humor, that they care about things, that they have disagreements. And all of it just comes across in sort of the looks and the behavior and how we use the different attributes of the dragon to express that.
The flying scenes are amazing and complex. Are they more complicated to make?
Well, I think, yeah, the flying scenes are pretty special, and for us, you know, when you make an animated film, you don't have really any restrictions, so it means we could put the camera anywhere we wanted to, and we could take them up as high as you wanted and do as many cool maneuvers as we wanted with them. So I think we just kind of let our imaginations go. And we looked at some fighter pilot reference of, you know, YouTube clips of shot from the cockpit of a fighter plane, or we watched a lot of videos of birds flying and playing and seeing what kind of aerial maneuvers they do, and we tried to incorporate some of that.
I would definitely like to have my own dragon. How did you design your very first dragon, and what features were important to have?
I had this idea of a species of dragon that could live for 1,000 years, or more than 1,000 years. So it would start out really small and then grow big and then grow small again. So it would live much longer than a human being. And Toothless, this sea dragon, is very, very fast. And so once he gets big enough to be a riding dragon, he'd be very, very quick. Is that important to you?
Yeah, definitely.
Speed?
Yeah, speed.
What features would you have?
I would definitely have one of the more speedy types. And features, probably my special feature would just be an extra boost.
Extra boost. And did you like the film when you saw it just now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. And what do you think is going to happen?
I think that Hiccup's mum and dad will probably come back to Burke, and then they'll have like a big fight-off with the dragons that his mum has been training and kept.
We shall have to see.
Do you consider yourself being an illustrator before being an author? What do you prefer, and how do these drawings inspire your writing?
I think I am a very visual writer. I like to draw characters before I write about them. I always draw maps, and I draw places before I write about them. Writing is very hard. I rewrite again and again and again. So by the time I've got to the illustrating of the books, I'm quite relieved. So that's an easier process. I always say to kids, because they get worried that they're not writing books this big. You don't have to be writing books that big when you're your age. You can just be writing stories. I was only writing little stories and things when I was your age. But I think I'm a writer first, probably.
Interesting themes have developed in the film that weren't in the book. So, for example, Hiccup having a disability.
Oh, yes. I wish I'd done that. I think that's a fantastic theme.
What do these changes bring to your story?
I think it feels very Hiccup-y. It feels right for the character. I think that could have happened in the books. It just happened that it was Dean and Chris's idea. And I love that. that they've done that in this movie, because I think for children who've got a disability like that, it's just really cool for them to have a hero up there on the Hollywood screen. But there are actually most themes that are in there in the books are there in the films. They're looking after the environment, you know, making sure that dragons don't become extinct, being a hero, being a leader, you know, what it's like to be an outsider, you know, for the boy living up to his father. All those themes are there in the books, and they're also there in the film.
So what do you say? Just keep going?